I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Matt Duchesne of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Justus Aros of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Ryan Johansson of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get started on the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the show. And once you're good and educated, you can click on that merchandise tab, and that's going to take you straight to our classic logo t-shirt, our Pride logo t-shirt, all the other special event t-shirts, and then all of the classic gimmicks you've come to love and expect from the Renegades of Puck. Wall art, socks, throw pillows, bed sets, we have it all. You can outfit your entire home with Renegades of Puck merchandise, and we would appreciate if you would, well, go ahead and do so. We've sold out so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this independent hockey operation right here, so please listen up and give us a follow, a like, a subscription. Doesn't take you but a second, doesn't cost you a single thing, but it goes a long way to helping the Renegades out. So please, on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, our behind-the-scenes live stream channel. You can check us out there. And, of course, on a myriad of podcast platforms. I'll give you a couple of examples. Google, Stitcher, Amazon. We are on all of those. Spotify. You can find the Renegades of Puck almost everywhere. So please, just search Renegades of Puck on your preferred platform and give us a follow today. You can become a partner of the Renegades of Puck or just make a generous donation by going to Venmo. Search Renegades of Puck or scan the QR code that's currently on your screen. Thanks to generous Renegades just like you out there viewing and listening, we've been able to upgrade all of our technology and equipment over the last year plus here in the bunker. Camera, microphone, lighting. Now we are looking to upgrade the computers and the engineering side of things, and thank you so much in advance for your incredibly generous donations. It is incredibly generous of you and very much appreciated by everybody here at the Renegades of Puck. Now, I know it's time for the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, so let's get to the goods. It's time for operation number 704. Show number 704 for the Renegades of Puck. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 6th place in the Central Division. After 43 games played, they have a record of 20-17-6. 46 points has them 1 point behind 4th place and 5th place, Colorado and St. Louis. They have a record of 10-7-3 on home ice. They have 120 goals for, 127 goals against, and that's a goal differential of -7. Before we move on to the next game, let's recap the Central Division current standings. Winnipeg and Dallas are tied for first place. Winnipeg holds the tiebreaker due to games played at this point. They both have 59 points. Minnesota is in 3rd place in the Central Division at 52 points, and you'll find Colorado and St. Louis at 47, Nashville at 46 in 6th place. Arizona is in 7th, and Chicago is in last place in 8th with just 26 points. The automatic cutoff line for a playoff qualifying spot is 3rd in the Central. The Nashville Predators are currently 6 points behind that spot. Now, for the Preds, once they wrap up this next game against Columbus Blue Jackets, 1-game road trip Thursday in St. Louis, back home then until the All-Star break, Saturday versus LA, the 24th versus Winnipeg, the 26th versus New Jersey, and then not another game until February the 7th after the All-Star break, and that will be against Las Vegas. Now, the season series between the Nashville Predators and the Columbus Blue Jackets, they go back to October the 20th when the Preds fell in Columbus 5-3. It was Johnny Gaudreau with 2 goals in that game. Blankenberg goal and assist for 2 points. Jeannot and Johansson and Trennan were the goal scorers for the Nashville Predators, and Lankinen took the loss, going 37 out of 41. Now, these two teams should have already concluded their regular season series, but they were unable to do so on 11/29 due to a water main break in downtown Nashville, which postponed all games at Bridgestone Arena. So this is a makeup of that particular game. Will be the final regular season meeting between the former Central Division rivals. Now, let's talk about those Columbus Blue Jackets for just a moment. 13-28-2. It has not been a very good season for Columbus. 28 points has them 8th overall in the Metro. That is last place on the road. 3-14-1 and a -60 goal differential on the season. Let's take a look at just the most recent stretch of action, but I think you know how the story is going to go. Back on the 8th of January, it was a 1-0 loss at the Washington Capitals. On the 10th, it was a 6-3 loss at the Tampa Bay Lightning. Then on the 12th, a 6-2 loss versus Carolina. The only bright spot for the Columbus Blue Jackets in this conversation. And on the 14th, it was a 4-3 victory at the Detroit Red Wings. And most recently, or just a couple of hours ago, it was a 3-1 loss versus the New York Rangers. Elvis Merzlikins got the start, took the loss in net for Columbus. Columbus, going 30 out of 33. So Nashville coming off a back-to-back at home, Columbus having to travel into Nashville after having a back-to-back at home against the New York Rangers. So let's take a look inside the rankings between these two teams and the matchup. And it's not going to be a very pretty picture that we're going to paint right here. The Nashville Predators lead in goals for 2.74 per game. Is 27th in this particular matchup. It's one of the only times the Nashville Predators are going to lead in this statistical metric. 30th overall in the league is where the Columbus Blue Jackets find themselves in the goals for category. Only 2.53 per game in goals against. The Preds are ahead in this metric as well. 2.93 given up per game is 14th best in the NHL, while 3.93 given up per game is 31st in the NHL. Not quite last, but next to last. In the shots for category, shots on net per game, the Nashville Predators are 19th in the league, generating 31.2 shots on net per game, while Columbus only getting 28.6 shots through to the net per game is 29th overall in the NHL. Shots against these two teams very close, but not in a good way. 34.3 against Nashville per game is 30th in the NHL, while Columbus is giving up 35.3 shots against per game. That is 31st overall in the NHL. What are you doing to your netminders? When it comes to the special teams, again, not very attractive when it comes to these statistical metrics. The Preds are converting at 16.7% on the power play. That's 28th overall in the NHL. The raw data on that is 24 out of 144 opportunities. The Columbus Blue Jackets power play is 14.8%. That's 32nd in the NHL. That is the last spot overall in the league. 17 out of 115 opportunities. Only 17 power play goals on the season. For the penalty kill, it is the Nashville Predators again leading in this statistical metric. 14th best in the NHL. 31 power play goals against, and that is a kill rate of 79.6%, while Columbus has a kill rate of 76.2%, 18th best in the NHL. They've given up 34 power play goals against. Nothing you can really point to on the Columbus Blue Jackets side of the ledger is incredibly attractive, except for maybe the statistics of Johnny Gaudreau leading the team in scoring, leading in goals, and leading assists. He's actually tied for the team lead in goals with Patrick Laine. 12 goals, 29 assists for 41 points, then a massive drop-off after that by 18 points between first and second in overall scoring. Roslovic, 3 goals and 20 assists for 23 points. Patrick Laine at 12 goals and 10 assists for 22 points. Boomjenner, 11 and 11 for 22, and Johnson, 8 and 11 for 19. Jonas Korpisalo expected to get the start in the second night of back-to-backs. 6-8 and 1 on the year. 908 save percentage is actually not that bad considering the rest of the numbers. 3.28 goals against average. Now, take a look at the Nashville Predators individual statistic. Philip Forsberg leads the team in total goals with 18 at 20 assists at 38 points. Also is first overall in the Nashville Predators. The captain, Roman Josi, has 12 goals and 23 assists for 35 points. His 23 assists are number one overall in that category on the Preds. Matt Duchene just behind him with 22, add 11 goals to that for Matt Duchene. He has 33 points on the season. Kyle Granlund's at 4 and 21 for 25. Nino Niederreiter, 13 goals, 10 assists, 23 points. UC Saros, after his most recent game, updated stats, 16, 12, and 5. A 9.21 save percentage, a 2.68 goals against average. Lankinen expected to get the start against Korpisalo on the second night of back-to-backs. A 4-4-1 record, 9.18 save percentage, 2.81 goals against average. And good to see him back in the lineup and healthy after having to miss his last opportunity to start a game with an illness just last week. That gets you all set up for the Nashville Predators and the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's a 6th-place team versus an 8th-place team, but the Nashville Predators desperately need to come away with the points in this one. The standings in the Central Division are simply too close to allow these 2 points to slip away.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
And we go all the way back to January the 16th of the year 2023 when the Nashville Predators were taking on the Calgary Flames for the second time this season, second out of 30 regular season meetings. And John Hines throws the players' names into a blender, and this is what comes out on this particular evening. Forsberg, Glass, and Duchene make up your first line. Niederreiter, Johansson, and Granlund your second line. Smith, Parson, and Sissons make up your third line. And then Trennan, Novak, and Janot make up your fourth line. Josi and McDonough, Ekholm, and Carrier, Luzon, and Fabro. Good to see Carrier back back in the lineup. UC Saros gets the start in net on home ice against Calgary Flames in just 1:49 into the first period. Markstrom's coming up with a save on Cole Smith from the slot. First shot on goal of the game for either of the teams. 5:53 in the first period. Saros comes up with a save on Coleman off of the rush at 5:56. Saros comes up with a save on Dubé. That was a designed face-off play immediately off of the win. 6:27 of the first period. Markstrom comes up with a save on Johansson plus the rebound times 2. It was a scramble right there. Markstrom able to hold strong, but he would not be able to hold strong at 8:26 of the first period as the captain Roman Josi gets his 12th goal of the season. It was a long shot that went off of the defenseman's leg and in. Give McDonough more than an assist on this. Give him some real credit keeping the puck in at the blue line, whipping it over to Roman Josi and allowing that goal to be scored as easily as it was. The 12th goal of the season gives the Nashville Predators a 1-0 lead in the first period over the Calgary Flames. We are at 11:39 in the first period. Markstrom's coming with a save on Forsberg. Carrier misses the net on a rebound opportunity. This was a glorious scoring chance that was not seized upon. 12:11 in the first. Saros comes up with a save on Mangiapane at the doorstep. 12:44. Parsons off the box. 2 minutes for hooking. First penalty of the game. UC Saros comes up with a save on the redirect by Mangiapane right there on top of the doorstep. At 14:24, immediately out of the box, Parsons' 5th goal of the season gives the Preds a 2-0 lead. He wins the battle to the loose puck in the slot, and he brings the jam. Parsonen takes the penalty, gets out of the box, and is awarded with the goal right here. Again, the consistency of this player just continues to impress. 16:50 of the first period. Saros comes up with a save on Mangiapane and Carrier. Scrum after the whistle as they were trying to crash hard around Saros, and Carrier was not having it. 18:29. Markstrom comes up with a save on Tommy Novak. Shots on goal at the end of the first period. 13-9 in favor of the Nashville Predators. 2:39 into the second period. Markstrom comes up with a save on Josi after Parsonen's slick little drop pass. 4:23 of the second. Saros comes up with a save on Mangiapane on the 2-on-1 after a turnover by the Preds. At 8:25 of the second, Saros comes up with a save on Dubé with the mask, puts the puck up and out of play. 9:29 of the second. Markstrom comes up with a save on Forsberg. The puck trickles through, but Markstrom's able to fall backwards, landing on top of the puck and covering for a whistle. 8:24. Markstrom save on Duchesne. 12:55. Coleman off to the box. 2 minutes for hooking. Forsberg hits the upper 90. Another glorious opportunity missed by the Predators right here. Markstrom would hold strong under pressure as the Preds were able to generate some really good zone time and some good scoring opportunities. Unfortunately, at 18:07, Zadarov, 7th goal of this season, gets into the net for Calgary, making it 2-1 now in favor of the Nashville Predators. It was a 5-hole from the slot after some sloppy neutral zone play. Didn't seem like UC Saros reacted to it very well. We'll go ahead and move on from that, though, because UC Saros is about to play some outstanding hockey the rest of the way. 19:02 of the second period. Markstrom comes up with a save with the glove on top of the 2-pad stack on Granlund. Old school 5-star save. Truly an otherworldly save at this moment in the game, and Markstrom keeping his team in the game. There is absolutely no doubt about how important and impressive this 2-pad stack save was with the glove right here. We at the end of the second period, and the Nashville Predators are out shooting the Calgary Flames 24-18. We go into the third period. We're 1:38 into the third. Markstrom's coming with a save on Eck on 1:51. Markstrom comes with a save on Duchesne's jam attempt. 2:07. Cole Smith off to the box. 2 minutes for tripping. But then Tanner Jeannot on the PK is also off to the box. 2 minutes for delay of game. It's going to be a 5-on-3 for 1:42. But Anderson then is going to pick up a high sticking penalty for 2 minutes. It's going to lead to a 4-on-3 scenario for 1:25. That's where UC Saros is going to have to go to work with all that extra time and space. He comes up with a save on Lindholm. Then he comes up with a save on Toffoli, Huberdeau, Toffoli, and Kadri all in one lengthy exchange and one incredible scramble of a sequence. Then Tyler Toffoli puts the puck into the net off of his skate. This play ends up being reviewed. It is ruled a no goal due to a kicking motion. Take that off the board. Back in favor of the Predators now. The score is 2-1. UC Saros then comes up with a save on Kadri before the end of the power play, and easily the most intense sequence of the entire game to this point happened during that special teams scenario. 7:35 into the third period. Markstrom comes up with a save on Josi. 8:17. Fabro's off to the box. 2 minutes for tripping. Preds back to the PK, and Saros back to work. Saros save on Kadri. Saros save on Dubé's redirect at the top of the crease, but then at 12:27, Stone picks up a penalty. 2 minutes for holding. Unfortunately for the Predators power play, which was virtually listless and getting zero opportunities in this, Calgary was able to generate two two really strong scoring opportunities shorthanded here. And after the Buffalo game the other night, you would think the Nashville Predators would have learned and solidified their power play just a little bit right now. At 17:37 of the third period, Forsberg hits the post during the offensive frenzy. The Nashville Predators were just buzzing all over the zone right here. 18:20 of the third period, Saros comes up with a save on Coleman. 18:40, Saros comes up with a glove save on Kadri. And then over the final minute and 20 seconds, UC Saros would have to come up with numerous saves with the empty net. It was a mad scramble to the finish, with UC Saros making a run at the single period saves record for the Nashville Predators. He would fall just one save short of that. The Nashville Predators would secure the victory 2-1 at the end of the game. Calgary finishes with 39 shots on goal. The Nashville Predators with 29 shots on goal. The Nashville Predators were virtually invisible in the third period. Calgary goes from 18 shots on goal at the end of the second period to 39 shots on goal at the end of the game. And UC Saros, again, another otherworldly performance. And for the Nashville Predators, I mean, they have to count themselves as incredibly lucky. Against Buffalo, it's a shorthanded goal that cost them the game the other night on home ice, almost giving up a shorthanded goal in this game. If not for their otherworldly Vezina finalist netminder and UC Saros, I don't think the Nashville Predators come away with this one. Calgary just poured it on as intensely as a team can over the final 20 minutes of a game. But the Nashville Predators do secure the 2 points in the first night of back-to-backs, and now tomorrow night, a last-place team from the Eastern Conference coming in. The Preds need to close out this homestand with all 4 of these points. We'll give you the analysis, the stats, the opinions, and all of that, plus the Renegades of Puck, and we'll do that coming up next.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
UC Saros was 38 out of 39 in this game, 21 saves in the third period, one short of the franchise record that he set just last week. Now, the one goal against, it seemed like he didn't react to that very well. It slid through the 5-hole, and for the most part, I don't consider that to be a very good goal against, but considering it's the only goal against and considering the performance that he would go on to put up in the third period, 21 saves, and it's pretty easy to understand the situation here. When he is on, the Preds can win under any circumstance, and honestly, isn't that the true definition of a Vezina goaltender? I think he is absolutely going to be a Vezina finalist by the end of the year. The numbers are going to be there, and the way he is performing when he is on, it's just absolutely electric. I was just counting saves there towards the end of the game, just assuming he was going to once again eclipse another franchise record that he had most recently set. 22 saves in a period is the franchise record. Just did it against Carolina, almost did it again tonight versus Carolina, 21 saves. And again, when he's on, the Preds can win in any circumstance and situation. Truly an otherworldly netminder and one of the best in the NHL at this point in time. Parsonen with a goal in this game. It's his 7th straight game with a point. He ties the franchise rookie record for, of course, 7 straight games with a point. Ties Philip Forsberg. And really, what I want to know is we've talked about Parsonen an incredible amount as of late, and he deserves to be talked about. The consistency that he has been putting up, the level of play he's been putting up. And now, why? Why demoted to the third line? That's what I don't understand. That made no sense to me whatsoever. Here you have Forsberg, Parsonen, and Duchesne. The last couple of games they've been playing well together, and you break that up and you put Glass up in the first line. Now, I have no problem with Glass right now, but Parsonen didn't do anything to be moved down and have his ice time limited and have his shifts limited with better offensive players. I mean, that's an insane coaching maneuver right there, to take a player that's on a 6-game point streak at this point as a rookie and maneuver him to a lower spot in the lineup. I don't see it right there. I certainly disagree with it. And Parsonen showed you that he deserves to have that ice time by coming through yet again in this game. 3 shots on goal and only 11 in time on ice after skating on the first line virtually since the moment he's been called up. Now to suddenly get demoted in the middle of a franchise tying streak, I will not understand that one, and I will continue discussing that. With Captain Romeo, he has a goal, 4 shots on goal, 23:04 in total time on ice, and he led his team to victory tonight. Juuse Saros is the sole reason the Nashville Predators won this, but his goal was a very, very big goal, and for the Nashville Predators, with the captain playing as good as he has been as of late, that is a good job by him. You got to note that performance, and you got to give McDonough some credit. He picks up 1 assist in this game, and that assist was pivotal. It was on the Romeo goal, 22:10 in total time on ice, 3:15 shorthanded, and just always a professional out there. Yes, he got beaten tonight on 1 or 2 plays because, well, let's face it, the NHL is full of incredible hockey players with incredible skill. McDonough, though, is almost always in the right place, almost always at the right time, and he is truly a professional defenseman in this league. Now, there's something bad, though, that I want to talk about. The Preds did come away with the victory, and Juuse Saros was amazing, but this team overall has just gotten to a point where they're taking so many penalties as of late. It's ridiculous how many penalties they are taking. They've got to stop doing this. They're putting themselves in bad situations game in and game out, shorthanded 8, 10, 12 minutes a game. It is something that is not sustainable on any level, and it's definitely not sustainable by a team that's at best a mid-card, mediocre team. So for the Nashville Predators, they have got to get their discipline back under control. It's been bench minors. It's been unforced error. Tanner Jeannot, puck over the glass on the penalty kill. That's an unforced error. He had plenty of time to make the play, and he should have made a better play than that. Too many men on the ice penalties as of late. It's been a bit absurd for the Nashville Predators. They're lacking discipline, and again, they're not a good enough team to come away with victories on nights where they take too many penalties. Now, I've given you a lot of things to chew on right there, so I want to go ahead and kick it over to the Renegades of Puck, and I want to get over to Brian Baston from ontheforecheck.com. He's got more than the numbers you need to know. He's got more than the charts you need to see, but I've been told he's got charts. Here he is from ontheforecheck.com, the one and only Brian Baston.
I'm here at Bridgestone Arena after Nashville's 2-1 victory over the Calgary Flames in a game where Nashville controlled for most of the game up until about the third period. And when it seemed that Nashville had given up that game-tying goal, luckily Review did step in and ruled Toffoli's kick a non-goal. But what Nashville did was pretty impressive to hold on to their lead, maintaining their aggressiveness, and of course, having Juuse Saros backstop in a frantic third period that saw Calgary get a ton of shots. But there was one thing about this game that we could have seen coming at least, and I think that's what John Hines and them saw coming, and that's going to be the topic of tonight's One Big Stat. Now, looking at this matchup, Nashville had a 4-1 victory earlier in November over the Calgary Flames, and one of the things they did was to control that team at the time was, one, again, having excellent play by Juuse Saros, and 2, some of the line combinations that we saw. Now, there was a little bit of hubbub over the line combinations, seeing, Juuso Parsonen down on the third line, but the line combinations were actually pretty effective. In fact, Nashville's fourth line played most of the game against Calgary's top unit, and that group is no slouch and did a pretty good job that way, and the way that the lines were matched up was impressive. But, again, one of the things that they should have seen from the last matchup against Calgary was how to attack Jacob Markstrom. Here is a chart that I've developed over the years. Data is provided by Evolving Hockey. Thank you very much, fellas. But this shows kind of where each goalie is struggling compared to the rest of the league, by angle. So as you can see with Jacob Markstrom here, his biggest weakness is right there on his right side, right in front of him, and a little bit off to his right. Now, why is that important? Well, Nashville did an excellent job attacking that spot in the first game, in the 4-1 victory. They had 15 shots within that area alone, with his area of weakness, and they converted 2 goals in that game. Tonight, they took a similar approach, and it worked fantastic. Again, they had another 15 shots on goal within that area of weakness and converted 1 goal in that, out of that spot. So again, that's 3 goals in the 2 games on 30 shots. So Nashville, from that area, it shot 10% in the last 2 matchups, and that's massive because when you can identify where your goalie's weaknesses are, you can actually, cater your offense around that, and you can see the type of offensive output that Nashville had, which is something that we're not used to seeing all the time with the Predators. So Nashville has a short turnaround. They've got one more game here tomorrow night, 24 hours from now. But until then, Nashville did snap their 3-game losing streak, actually, and they're hoping to get back on the grind before All-Star break, because it's going to be one long, hard slog to get to the end of the season and hopefully make the playoffs. And that's the topic of tonight's One Big Stat. Back to you, Charlie.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know, because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions. Taking a look at the box score right here. Goal scorers for the Nashville Predators: Parson, the only forward with a goal tonight. Captain Romeo, the only defenseman with a goal tonight. In the assist stat things, Duchesne, Janot, Sissons, and McDonough all pick up assists in this game. 2 goals, 4 assists. That's all nice and even. Shots on goal. The Captain Romeo leads the team with 4 shots on goal. When it comes to block shots, Luzon had 3 block shots. And when it comes to hits, Luzon also with 8 shots. 9 hits in the last game, 8 hits in this game. And he had some otherworldly, large, just knocking guys off their skates hits in this game. Pretty incredible to see. Janot also had 5 hits. He was second on the team in that category. Matt Duchesne led the forwards in time on ice, 18:56 in total skated time on ice. The Captain Romeo, 23:04, led the team in total time on ice, as he usually does. Overall, a decent job by the coaching staff of keeping the forwards well balanced on the first night of back-to-backs, 18:56 being the high, and it looks like 10:50 being the low, or 8:48. Tommy Novak is the low in time on ice. Tommy Novak only 8:48 skated. Seems a bit much. Parson and Novak have been playing incredibly good hockey and consistent hockey since coming back from Milwaukee, and yet I see they're the two that are being limited in ice time. That's something we're going to continue tracking, continue watching. And UC Saros in net, of course, it's the story of the night, it's performance of the night, and that seems to be what we say an awful lot around here. 38 out of 39, came 1 save short of tying the franchise record for saves in the period, 21 saves in that third period, and UC Saros, again, incredible. On the season now, 16-12-5, a 9.21 save percentage, a 2.68 save percentage. Don't forget, back in the early parts of November, that save percentage was down in the 8s, and that goals against was up above 3. Honestly, he was barely hanging on to the NHL with numbers like that. That takes care of the numbers. That takes care of the box score. We'll be back to wrap this thing up in just a second. I'm Crazy Charlie Saunier, captain of the Renegades of Puck. I'm also tired of the cold, tired of the dark, and tired of being landlocked. I'm also willing to bet that I'm not the only one who could use some sun, fun, and time in paradise with friends. That's exactly why I called our great friend Pete Weber. He told me, call Ships and Trips Travel, and now we're all going to Mexico. That's right, Renegades of Puck, July 15th to the 20th of 2023. Dreams Vallarta Resort in Puerto Vallarta is the destination to hang with Pete Weber in paradise. To join Pete and the Renegades of Puck in Puerto Vallarta, go to www.shipsandtripstravel.com. That's shipsandtripstravel.com, and just click on the ROP on vacation tab. Don't stay landlocked. Join the Renegades of Puck in paradise, July 15th to the 20th, 2023 in Puerto Vallarta. Pete Weber, the Renegades of Puck, and you. It's time to ditch those skates for flip-flops and fun in the sun. Something I don't say very often, that a game is a must-win, but for the Nashville Predators taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets, without a doubt, this game is a must-win. Second night of back-to-backs, but the Preds have been able to perform decently on the second day of back-to-backs throughout this season. The Columbus Blue Jackets are 13-28-2. They only have 28 points. They're 8th in their own division. They have a goal differential of -6, and they only have 3 wins on the road. The Nashville Predators absolutely must seize this opportunity. They failed in Columbus early in the season, dropping 2 points. You cannot lose all 4 points to the Columbus Blue Jackets. I expect the Nashville Predators to come out and play a very good, very consistent game against the Columbus Blue Jackets, and if there was one opponent that you have an opportunity to absolutely break break things wide open against it is this Columbus Blue Jackets team. They're giving up 3.93 goals per game. They're giving up 35.3 shots against per game. The Nashville Predators need to seize upon this opportunity. The Central Division is jam-packed right now. There are 3 teams separated by 1 total point, and that is Colorado, St. Louis, and Nashville. The Preds, every point precious moving forward now in the second half of the season as we begin to focus on the playoff race a whole lot more. For the Nashville Predators, speaking of that playoff race, tonight's head-to-head victory over the Calgary Flames is going to prove to be critical when we start measuring the standings in the very final days of the season. The Preds securing 2 victories now over the Calgary Flames, 4 points. The Flames directly ahead of the Preds right now in one of the wild card positions. So for the Nashville Predators, that was a very big victory when you talk about the potential playoff scenarios moving forward. Columbus has nothing to do with the Nashville Predators in the Western Conference. They simply have 2 points that the Nashville Predators need to seize from them and send them on their way before the Preds head off to St. Louis for what is going to be, at least at this point, the biggest Central Division matchup of the season for the Nashville Predators. That's going to wrap things up from the bunker. We'll be back tomorrow night wrapping up that Columbus game. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share, do all of those things. Help us out. Full Press Predators coverage right here from the bunker, the Full Press Preds podcast. We sure to appreciate what everybody is doing over there. We are absolutely racking up huge numbers, and we are gaining a new audience every day. So we sure to appreciate each and every one of you out there with the Full Press podcast and Rebirth Sports. I just want to give them a second mention. Had a conversation with Doug Green, the owner of Rebirth Sports. We spent about 30 minutes on the phone just talking about the Renegades of Puck and talking about jerseys and talking about all kinds of things. And I just want to mention them one last time. You really need a good hockey tailor, and Rebirth Sports is that hockey tailor. Jump in the trenches with those guys. Great people. Take a look. Take a look at this jersey that they put together, and this is the 3rd jersey here in the trenches. For Brian Baston, for each and every one of the Renegades of Puck, I hope you have a fantastic night. We'll be back less than 24 hours from now talking Nashville Predators Columbus Blue Jackets. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. Stick taps, love, and respect.